he rode in the back to feed cattle. One time, Mom was home fixing lunch. Ashley drove up in the pickup all by herself. Mom said, "Where's Grandpa?" And she said, "I told him I was hungry, and he didn't come, so I just came to eat." I think you were like, what, 5 or something? Barb and her son Mike came to visit one time when they lived at the ranch. Ray was always great at delegating and told Mike to take the old push mower and mow the lawn. Mike thought he was done until Ray told him about the big backyard. One time when Cassie was three, Grandpa taught her how to feed bummer lambs with a bottle and how to kick her legs hard. When Ryan was 6, he started coming to spend summers at the ranch. He and Ashley were in the field helping pick up bales one time when a thunderstorm came. Mom ran out of the house yelling for Ray to get the kids out of the field. However, Ray kept working and just told the kids to work faster as they had to get the hay in before it got rained on. On a visit to see Dan in Oceanside one year, Dan got them a tea time playing golf at Coronado, which Ray enjoyed very much. Ray loved going to birthday parties for Carson and Brooklyn and playing with their big dog Duke. When Mom was a Deschutes County commissioner, they attended an event for Arnold Palmer. Ray later told Mom it meant more to him than meeting any famous politician. And we might have a few in the audience. And I know, Betsy, thank you for coming all the way over from Scappoose. It meant a lot to Mom and our family. Mom's brother loved his classic pickup. One time when they went to visit, Stan raised the hood, started it up to show how ready it was for racing. Ray commented that he thought it sounded like it needed a tune-up. Recently, Ray's nephew Derek was here to visit him. When Derek saw the John Wayne picture on the wall, he said it reminded him of watching all his movies growing up and how his Uncle Ray seemed just like John Wayne to him. Dia, Ray's niece, loved him very much and had an ongoing feud with Bev, saying over and over again, "He's mine, he's mine." And of course, Ray loved it. I remember that. When Tyler's grades fell behind, Grandpa said, "You're going to the school in Mitchell." A few weeks later, Grandpa pulled his RV over to the game, and the entire football team got in and had chili and homemade cinnamon rolls. Tyler said the best thing he remembered was the bottled water Grandpa gave them, because normally they had to drink out of the school garden hose during those games. Ray was a lifelong supporter of children. And at the age of 85, he took on the responsibility of guardian for his great-grandson, Caleb. Ray bought a basketball hoop, and they often shot baskets together. Ray also threw football with him for hours at a time. At football games, Ray would stand on the sidelines urging Caleb on. Last September, Ray even attended a school conference with teachers to make sure Caleb was staying on track. Were you? Good. Caleb will never forget when his grandfather bought him a hatchet and said, "I'm going to teach you how to make some kindling." Ray held up a piece of wood on the chopping block and said, "This is how you hold it," and cut off a small piece of wood as he swung the hatchet. It hit his finger and cut off most of a knuckle. Learning to roast marshmallows, Grandpa explained to Caleb, "You put your marshmallow down into the flames until it catches on fire, you blow it out, and you eat it." Caleb loved it when Grandpa would say, "Let's go on a walkabout," and they would head out, going down the steep trail to the river for a long hike. When a dog got in the chicken coop and wounded Logan's favorite chicken, he brought it to Grandpa for help. Ray told him what to put on the wounded chicken and that he thought it would be just fine. Mom said when she and Ray got married, Cindy was 15 and didn't like sharing Mom much and was often rebellious. However, Cindy made it up to Ray with all the times she made him grilled cheese sandwiches. And later, on his last night, she told Ashley to come, I think it's near. And at 4 a.m., Cindy was holding his hand, told Ray, it's okay, you can cross over the rainbow now. Now I have the great pride to introduce, thanks to Ray, brother Barry. Barry, would you like to come up?
Good job, Randy. I'm Barry Clarno, Ray's second oldest son. Thank you all for coming to this celebration of life for my father. First of all, though, I'd like to thank Beverly for making all these arrangements. That is just a lot of work. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. I just would like to mention a few highlights of Dad's life. So I put my glasses on so I can read. That exemplified who he was. Family was the center of my father's life. Everything revolved around family, everything. Some of the instances, we had early days of camping on the Metolius River near Sisters, Oregon, with Uncle Bill, Uncle Ralph, and their families. The fishing adventures with our famous guide, Uncle Bill, and he was a fabulous guide. He taught us how to catch fish, even though it wasn't always legal. And we were productive. We always had fish for supper. We took a trip one winter into the Palm Springs area with the grandparents. Dad always wanted to have everybody involved, not just kids, everybody. So the grandparents. So Mike, Brother Mike and I drove Grandpa and Grandma down. That was exciting. And Brother Murray drove Pa and Grandma Laird down. So we had both of the grandparents there. And we had a pretty rough drive. We were relieved when we got there. The Siskiyous were a mess, but we made it. We got over it. We also had a special person that came with us, Tim Lynch. I don't know if any of you know Tim Lynch. I think a bunch of us do, but there's a special guy. He's a gifted individual, and we had a lot of fun with him down there. That was great. Dad had a passion for bird hunting and the dogs that accompanied that sport. Dad, his boys, and the dogs made many hunting trips to eastern Washington. And we were productive too, chasing birds. Granddad Clarno came with us several times, and that was the best of memories. Granddad there with us hunting. Fabulous, just so special. Never forget it. We were introduced to rodeos as teenagers. And so many great times at the Sisters Rodeo, Deschutes County Fair and Rodeo, the Chief Joseph Days. And this was all given to us, showing us how to, where do you want to go? A rodeo? Let's go. And we did it, and we followed. And it was fun. And Dad he was a true cowboy without a doubt, I guarantee you. That was in his blood. He was a cowboy. Sometime after Dad bought the Clarno Grange Hall, located on the John Day River in Clarno, Oregon, he expressed the desire to have a Clarno reunion there. So that's what happened. He made it happen. The Clarnos, Rouches, Barkers, Lynches, and many others attended. That 1 acre site was filled with motorhomes, trailers, and tents. The barbecue was followed by our favorite band, Countryfied. Mark, you're a hero. And we danced into the wee hours of the night. What a great time at such a special destination, the Clarno Grange in Clarno, Oregon. We also have great memories celebrating Dad's decade birthdays. starting with the 60th, which Randy's mentioned a bit about. We were met up at the resort at the mountain, at Mount Hood, and there we christened him as a true Viking. Man, he lived up to it, I tell you. And the white toga, Viking attire was perfect as we presented him with the Viking helmet. He looked so good in that. But you know, once a Viking, always a Viking. Always. Flying into Los Angeles, California started off Dad's 70th birthday celebration. The Clarnos and the Hildebrands then boarded a cruise ship to Ensenada, Mexico. Dad, do you remember that? I remember sitting in a restaurant overlooking the city of Ensenada. Absolutely beautiful sight, beautiful sight. That was an outdoor area that we were at, and we were being entertained by one of our members who was dancing on the tabletop. Do any of you remember who that was? Well, I won't say names, but I do. That was a fabulous trip. That was my first cruise, and it was just really fun to be with them. That was a great time. For Dad's 80th birthday, we took over the Blue Olive Restaurant at Brasada Ranch Resort in Palo Butte, Oregon. We roasted Dad on this particular 80th birthday. We did a good job. And in particular, the Barker boys, they stood out strong. They took care of him. Dinner, music, and dancing. What a night we all had. It was fabulous. Another great time. The 90th birthday was a big one, and a large group of family and friends attended. It was held at Brad and Karen's ranch east of Bend, Oregon, and this was part of Dad's ranch prior to Brad buying it from Dad. We had motorhomes formed a circle in the field for some of the group's lodging. Clarnos, Rouches, Hildebrands, Barkers, Lynches, Lairds, Paynes. Oh man, there's a lot of people there. And many others attended. The dinner was catered, and once again, we were fortunate to be entertained by the fabulous Country Fried Band. You are a hero, Mark, I tell you. Dad and Bev, along with many others, danced the night away. Those of us that were there will never, ever, ever forget celebrating this special time with Dad's 90th birthday. And I stand here today wishing I could say, wait until you see what we have planned for his 100th birthday. It would have really been special for all of us who so love this wonderful man, my father. Thank you.
Anyway, I am Peggy Clarno, and I am Ray's youngest and only daughter. Thank you all for being here. It means a lot to all of us. First and foremost, Dad was a family man. His love was great, and he passed it on to all of us. Whether you're a friend or a family, we are all better people for knowing him. As the youngest and only girl, growing up was a bit of an only child syndrome as the only girl and the youngest. And then being part of this big, beautiful tribe of brothers and sister-in-laws and all the women and friends that they brought in to be my family too. Dad was big on tradition. On our birthday, we got to pick our favorite restaurant, and as a family, we would all go. My fondest memories are of the Forbidden City, where we would put bug juice, soy sauce, on our turtle egg soup, as Dad called it, which was wonton soup. The boys and Dad would challenge each other with the hot yellow mustard that came with the barbecued pork, and the tears would be streaming down their faces, and there was so much laughter. I've passed this birthday tradition on to my son and his family, and it's just great to pass on traditions. After we moved to LA, Dad would take me with him to shop for his business suits. I was probably in my early 20s. On one such shopping spree, we took a right-hand turn into a car lot, and I got to write a check for $5,000 for a sleek black Lincoln Mark V. Yes, Dad could be impulsive. And by the way, the car was for him. He just forgot his wallet. So in later years, Dad and I would go on road trips every April. We traveled the Olympic Peninsula, the Painted Hills, Grants Pass to visit Aunt Jean, and Spokane to visit a longtime friend, Stuart Reynolds, also known as Stewie. I met relatives previously unknown to me, Kay and Lee, their families, and most recently cousin Marge. One hard, fast rule of the road trip was the 3 yawn rule. If Dad yawned 3 times, it was my turn to drive. And I drove a lot. Dad would always ask, "What do you want to do?" And always it didn't matter. I just wanted to be with him. So sometimes we changed irrigation or went out to Big Tree and generally worked on the ranch. So when we all get together in bits and pieces now, there will always be stories, memories, and traditions that started with Dad. May we always hold them close and pass them along, and forever be better people because we knew Ray Clarno. Thank you.
Notice that there's a definite rural theme to the room. Sherman County, Clarno, I think most of you know where that is. But Bev and Ray had deep urban experiences too. I mean, I don't know how a Sherman County girl ever thought it was Salem, but yeah, that was a big jump. And good for her, because Salem needs that settlement. And along the way, they met many people in urban centers, including Bend, that they called their home. And so I'm going to bring up another person that you listed, Connie. Come on up. Connie Truliger owns Express Personnel, but along the way, she bumped into Bev and Ray and became part of their extended family. And so she's asked to say a few words this morning. She's not on your agenda, but yeah, it doesn't matter. That's what we do. So, well said.
So when Bev and I were speaking with each other, I said, you know, the friendship part is so big throughout your back porch, this region, all the communities that you've entered, the state and beyond. I said it would be my honor and my blessing to be able to speak today from that friend perspective. So I've known Bev and Ray for years, and like I said, it's been a real blessing today to celebrate the man that we know as Ray Clarno. All of us understand in this room the difficult battles that this family has waged this past year. Yet through all that personal adversity, at the end, I think they both understood. We don't know what tomorrow brings, but we do know to hold tomorrow. When I think of Ray, descriptors come to mind like this: kind, supportive, interested, thoughtful, and an understanding of people, and an other-centered human being. I think that rings true for Bev as well. And you can't celebrate Ray without celebrating the wonderful Beverly today as well. On the flip side of generosity, I think they both demand excellence, and they set standards high for those that know and work alongside of both of them. The combination of Ray and Bev made you want to strive to be the best that you could be. And I'm sorry, I apologize for that one word. It's a little bit dark in here and old eyes, right? Knowing Ray and Bev and their love story, I do want to share a couple of personal experiences about them that you probably can relate to. My brother worked that day, they were making a difference in their slash burning by, by every day, they did the same thing in their working lives. I love the saying so much, we are what memories made us. And one other memory of Ray and Bev I'll never forget is the annual crab feed for Redmond execs. And I'd like to give kudos for this as well. Jerry and I walked in with Ray and Bev, only to be greeted by you through the microphone, acknowledging that Ray and Bev were in the room. So that night, Ray wasn't feeling very well, but they always made sure that I sat by Ray, particularly Bev, because I come from, we have cabins on the Oregon coast and have for 50 years, and I could crack crab and he could not. To make sure he had dinner, always, I sat beside him. But that night, Ray wasn't feeling so good, and he said, still touches my heart, leaned over and said to Bev, I can't leave here tonight without dancing with my girl. And he did just that. So you were absolutely right. And I believe it was that song. So that touched my heart today as I was going to bed. What a love story they shared together. Realizing that it's difficult to say goodbye to those we love, the one thing I'm certain of is that Ray felt loved by Bev and each of you that are in attendance today. Ray had a life well lived. I love the saying that Colin Powell said, a life is about its events. It's about challenges met and overcome or not. It's about successes and failures. But more than all those things together, it's about how we touch and are touched by the people we meet. It's all about the people. The people in my life who made me who I am. And I think it's well to say that that represented you both. I'm going to end with a poem that my late husband, William Cage Worrell, wrote to our family, and I think it's very appropriate for all of yours. It's titled Family. Through the highs and lows and the ins and outs, through exploring and testing the love and abouts, through growth and death and times tough to see, the one solid foundation is our family. As we take the journey through life's many trials to make our contributions with individual styles, when all else fails, there remains one key. It's the caring and love of our family. Our family is there when needed the most, to support our spirits, when to bust or to boast. They know us best, our strengths and more. They know us inside and deep to the core. So live and love as one from the tribe, and always remember with dignity and pride, as Babron said, we are one, we are three, and behind us forever is family. Rest in peace, Ray Clarno. Much love to you. Thank you.
You know, what you learn in a position like mine is people's loves. And some of you are going to have to pick up the dancing that Bev lost her partner. And there's quite a few guys here that better. Can any of you dance as well as Ray? Or do you need to work on that? Okay. So in a year, Bev, I want to report. I want to see how they're doing because that's significant because they loved to dance. And Mark even told me before the service how they were the first on the floor and the last off the floor. But he's not the only one that experienced this. Our next guest, Lindsay, come on up, is later in the history of Bev and Ray. She is a native Oregonian, but she wandered off campus for a while and then moved back and moved into Eagle Crest here in Redmond, 5 or so years ago. In playing gigs in the neighborhood, they bumped into
to Ray and Bev. She thinks at Brasso's Bar or something like that? Brassines. And she loved to see them dance. And Bev loved her music, including one of the songs that she's going to play for you tonight. And you took her over to Salem to sing it at the Capitol. So anyhow, that's where Lindsay comes in. And another bookend of the musical things that you enjoy. So,
thank you, Mike. Well, I'm going to do, I thought I was only going to do one song, and then I got a phone call a few days ago from Bev saying, please do 2 more. So I'm going to do 3 songs, and I had to learn this one because I don't think I ever played this when you guys were dancing out at Brassy's Bar, no. But it's a great tune. I hope a lot of people you'll recognize from the Carpenters, 1972. Such a feeling's coming over me. There is wonder in most everything I see. Not a cloud in the sky, got the sun in my eyes, and I won't be surprised if it's a dream. Everything I want the world to be is now coming true, especially for me. And the reason is clear, it's because you are here. You're the nearest thing to heaven that I've seen. I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I found ever since you've been around. Your love's put me at the top of the world. Something in the wind has learned my name, and it's telling me that things are not the same. In the leaves on the trees and the touch of the breeze, there's a pleasing sense of happiness for me. There is only one wish on my mind. When this day is through, I hope that I will find that tomorrow will be just the same for you and me. All I need will be mine if you are here. I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I found ever since you've been around. Your love's put me at the top of the world. Your love's put me at the top of the world. Okay. This next tune, I think maybe you had a dog, maybe that Ray was very close to. This is the first song I was asked to sing for the celebration, and I got a kick out of it. And so we're going to do this, and I love being able to look up there and see that man, because when that man and his wife walked in any place I was at, I felt that love just beaming out of them. And that doesn't happen with everybody that you see or meet, but by golly, they had it, and they still do. So here you go, Ray. From the moment that I met him, he was the true companion for my heart. We walked and talked together and vowed we would never be apart. didn't take us long. We were spending nights together in a king-size bed. I've never known a love like this. It goes beyond what human words have said. I love my dog. I love my dog. He's the best friend that I ever had. From his tail to his nose, he's always around. He don't let me down. He never drops the ball. I love my dog. Well, he's always glad to see me if I've been gone for hours or a minute or two. He shines those big brown eyes at me and wags a sweet hello, I love you. He curls up right next to me and makes me feel warm and safe inside. He's happy just to be with me, and it don't take much to keep him satisfied. So I love my dog. I love my dog. He's the best friend that I ever had. From his tail to his nose, he's always around. He don't let me down. He never drops the ball. Oh, I love my dog. Never drops the ball. I love my dog. Oh, thank you. Dog lovers, right? Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much. Okay, one more here. And this is probably the song that really just bonded me so beautifully with Bev, especially because she was our lady politician. And I was always so impressed and proud that a woman like her was in our state politics, House of Representatives, state senators, Secretary of State twice, whatever. There's just so much about that that's so impressive and gives me hope for a lot of young women that feel led to do leadership roles, that she's a great inspiration. And I had written a song about Oregon that, because I'm a native, I was born in Tillamook and got to live from there to Beaverton, and then my dad moved us to Heppner, then McMinnville. And from there I went on, and eventually my path took me to Tennessee, to Nashville, blah, blah, blah. And I had written this song before I left home because this is just came out of me one time, being an Oregonian and how much I love living in such a beautiful place. So I wrote the song, and then I get to Tennessee and I couldn't sing it because I would cry when I tried. I missed my home. So when I got back here to Oregon in 2000, almost 25 years ago, in March, when we both have birthdays, 27th, 29th, I could sing this song and I didn't have to cry about what I was trying to sing. So somewhere along the line, Bev heard this song and she's so touched, I guess, by it, and she was proud and wanted to see it sung in front of these people in Salem. So I got invited to go sing this song in front of the Senate, and it was a career highlight for me to do this in my home state with my home song. So thank you, Bev, always. And it's called No Place Under the Sun Like Oregon. And I need a little drink of water, because this is the dry side of Oregon. I was born in Tillamook, remember? I have wandered through her mountains, I've smelled her trees of evergreen, then across her deserts and waded in her streams. I've walked barefoot on her beaches, built castles in her sand. I know inside my mind there's nothing like her in all this land. For there's no place under the sun like Oregon, my Oregon. And my heart loves no other one like Oregon, my Oregon. I have laid in bed at night, heard her rain fall on the roof. I've woke up to morning with her sunlight shining through. I have traveled many places, I felt the need to roam, but Oregon keeps telling me she'll always be my home. For there's no place under the sun like Oregon, my Oregon. And my heart loves no other one like Oregon, my Oregon. Oh, there's no place like Oregon.
At this time is a time for sharing. So we're going to open up the mic to have anybody who would like to share memories of Ray. Please come and do that. Fair warning, you're going to have to come here. So everybody's going to have to look at you. This happens to be the mic that's in our stream. So if anybody is wanting to share a thought about Ray, thank you. One brave soul. Come on up, man. Right here. Come up. You're welcome so much, man.
So what do I do?
Oh, you
Stand
talk.
over here? Okay. I'm Janet, Ray's youngest sister. There was Jean, Ray, Barbara, Ralph, and most of them were out of the house by the time I came along, so I didn't grow up with them. The really fun part was, I forgot this part first. Mom told me, I don't remember this, but she told me that Ray came home, and I'm assuming it was from Oregon State, and he was upstairs in his bedroom. I was 3 years old, and I was jumping on the bed in his room while he was in there. And I fell off, and I suppose I was crying. I cut my lip, still a scar there. And she said he just made all over it, a big fuss about it, got a cold cloth, got some ice, and held me. And I think that's pretty much what he's done with every kid all along the years. He loved little kids. So then the fun part, when I got a little bit older, Jean, Barbara, Ray, and Ralph, they'd all converge on the house where I was living with our parents for holidays. And it was great. We had my best memory about this was at the dining room table, Daddy would be at the head. Bill, my sister Barbara's husband, Ralph, my brother, Ray. Am I forgetting someone? Anyway, Ray's boys, they weren't that old, maybe 13 at the most, some of them. And we'd all be playing poker. And that was a big deal. And, you know, Ray would say, Father, don't cheat. The boys are here, you know. I don't think, he said that he didn't, so I believe him. Ray was the one who got our family all together the first time that I recall, was at the gun club in Myrtle Point. And oh my gosh, it was such a big deal. My two sons, Andy and Ryan, were little tiny kids. I think Ryan was like 2 or something. So we all went out to the gun club. There was a kitchen there, and we all made meals. I remember Pat, you and I, wanting to have caviar or something. It might have been Christmas time. Anyway, there were more poker games. There was a trap shoot, and somebody that wasn't really in the family won that. It was an in-law. That was fine. People played. So all these men, adults, were standing up playing Little Peter Rabbit that had hand motions to it. I mean, it was a silly song that kindergartners would do. And it was a great time, and that was called, Ray made this up, the Tequila Joe's Invitational. I don't know where that came from, but you know, inside joke there somewhere. So let's see, other times of getting together. That's the one that really stands out in my mind. There were many others, but I loved how one more thing, I know he mentored a lot of kids, and he was there for my sons and my daughter, and he meant so much to them, and still does. And anyway, how he brought us all together all the time, here he is doing it again. So thank you, Ray.
Thank you, ma'am. You want to go this way?
Just help me.
Okay, I got you. I got you. You are so welcome. Sir?
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name's Greg Roush. Ray was my uncle. He was a lot more than just that. He was my mentor, my friend, my hero. I could stand up here and tell a lot of Ray Clarno stories, but one of my favorites, well, first of all, Uncle Ray got me my first job with Carnation Company many years ago as a management trainee, and back then we had company-owned feed stores, and I was a management trainee in a feed store. And I remember when he got me the job, he advised me to maybe not let anybody know that he was my uncle for the first little bit. I don't know if it was because he wasn't worried I was going to cut the mustard or what the deal was. But here I am almost 42 years later, so something worked out for us. But like I said, I've got a lot of Ray Clarno stories I could tell, but one of my favorite is I had been managing the store for a little period of time, and Ray came and bought a bunch of fencing supplies from me. And he said, but the deal was, over 4th of July weekend, myself, my late wife, and my brother-in-law, who had just gotten out of the Marines and was living with us, we're going to deliver it. We're going to have a fun weekend over here in Central Oregon out at the ranch. Not a lot of fun. It was fun, but from the time we arrived, he had us working. That's how Uncle Ray was. He would entice you to go places. But I remember Uncle Ray put Ron and I to work building the deck on the trailer, and Jean and my late wife and Auntie Bev were doing the fence. And Ray was supervising everything. So he was going back and forth between projects. Well, at some point during the day, I don't know what Ray said to Bev, but Bev and Gina quit him. And so anyway, like I said, it was a great weekend, a great holiday. Like I said, I've got a lot of Ray stories, but that's one that's always really stuck in my mind. It's always been one of my favorites. Like I said, it was a great time, great weekend, and but that was Uncle Ray in a nutshell.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Do we have? If I told a Ray story, I'd just be making something up. So somebody else is gonna. Anybody? Anybody want to share? No? Oh, I see, we have a taker. Thank you, sir. How are you? Here you go.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have some notes written down here. I just want to say from the outside looking in how lucky this family is. It's extraordinary to hear the two blended families getting together all these years you have with Ray. So from the outside looking in, it's a great honor to be here today. Good afternoon. My name is Brad Wilson. I'm a former colleague and friend of Ray Clarno. My deepest condolences go out to the family. And I want to thank them for this opportunity to share a little bit of at least my interaction with Ray and part of his life professionally and personally. I didn't have a lot of insight into Ray's life until pretty recently. I did know Ray and I've known Bev for quite some time, but I recently read Ray's My Memories that he wrote in 2021. And it's really a trip back in time. It really shows you who Ray is and how we got there. Detailed events of his life growing up, his family, building a career at Carnation, and the passion of being a cattleman at his ranches in Central Oregon. So it's really a great tribute to his life, and I really enjoyed that, Bev. So thank you for allowing me to do that. Among many of the volunteer and leadership activities Ray participated in, I truly believe he was proud that he served on the board of directors for Central Electric Co-op. Ray was appointed to the board in July of 2002, retired in April of 2013. During that time, he served as secretary from 2007 to 2010, and then served as the chairman of the board till his retirement in 2013. Ray's business experience and leadership helped shape our current cooperative, which helped reinforce our dedication to the communities and our membership. Outspoken and firm when needed, he provided a strong voice and guidance during his tenure. So I'd like to thank the family for the time he spent helping with us, and currently for Bev for your service that we have today. Now, kind of on a personal note, is there anybody who doesn't have a Ray story? I mean, if you ever had a conversation with Ray, then you have a Ray story. There is no doubt about that. Most of them I cannot share here today, so I'm going to skip that part. But every interaction I have with Ray, I cannot think of a single time that it didn't start with a smile or end with a smile. Now maybe that was due because he just jabbed me, on the way in, and but it was always in good fun, and it really fostered a relationship for trust and friendship. Always cheerful and happy. His vision of life is something we should all strive for. His eternal optimism and ability to help others through challenging times has positively impacted everyone that he knew or has come in contact with. I spent the last 3 weeks really asking myself what I would miss most about Ray. And I really couldn't come up with just one. It's really, every time I saw him, the smile, his laughing, the banter, and then most importantly, how he'd express his genuine care for his family, his friends, and everybody he knew. So, Bev and family, I wish you guys the best, and Ray's going to be missed, so thank you.
Who has that book, My Memories? Anybody? Isn't that a great book? It's amazing. Yeah. I love the picture of him with the football team, that I actually knew somebody that didn't have the face masks on their helmets. It was awesome. Awesome. In the leather helmets. Tough guys back then, right? Yep. Any other share? Anybody? Come on up, sir. Welcome. Thank you, sir.
My name's Richard, Peggy's son. Grandpa Ray was one of the best that there was. Whether coming up with my nickname Shard from a kid, it's always stuck around. That's the only one that's ever really stuck. I just have memories of him shaving my head one summer because it was way too hot, and my mom was scared to death to take me home to my dad. Never got my hair cut, and it was big puffy hair, curly hair. Driving on the ranch with one of the trucks and taking a corner and falling out of the truck. Like it's stuff you can't really make up, and it's just memories that you'll never forget. But yeah, no, I love that. It's a really sad situation on how we all came together today. But I mean, he always did have a way of bringing people together. So he will be very missed. Thank you.
Are there any more? Well, I think we have one final song. So I would like to welcome back up Mr. Mark and our lovely worship leader, Patty, and Lindy. All right, everybody, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Okay, all right.
And we would like to invite you to sing along with us, because I do believe the words will be put up on the screen. So. It's called In the Garden.
It's kind of hard to follow all that. That's some really good stories. Of course, like you guys said, everybody has a story about Ray. Even those that didn't know him well, but you know him now because of what you've heard. So this is an old hymnal, an old hymn song that been around for a long time. I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. He speaks, and the sound of his voice is so sweet. The birds hush their singing, and the melody that he gave to me within my heart is ringing. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. I'd stay in the garden alone with him, though the night around me is falling. But he bids me go through the voice of woe. His voice to me is calling, and he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there,
none other has ever shown.
Amen. Now, welcome Mike Darby back. And remember one thing Tom said was one thing Ray liked to do was cherish everything. And he did. He cherished everything, and especially love, like you said. So I just wanted to remind you of that. That was some good words.
Wow. Wow. You know, live well so you can die well. And Ray did both, Beverly. The Apostle Paul, I think he wrote to the church in Corinth, he said, "You are my letters I have written on your heart." And Ray was a writer. And his letters are largely represented in this room. They still exist. You are his legacy. And it's a proud and precious legacy to have known a man, been blessed by a man like Ray. They are rare. They're rare. We should all endeavor to live up to be a Ray. So we're going to close in prayer, but we're not going to close the place down. We've got some refreshments out there. There's tables in the lobby, but you can come back in here. Feel free to fellowship and get to know one another and renew some acquaintances and honor Ray in that. So let's close in prayer. Heavenly Father, we all seek to honor your name, which is what it's all about, to lift you up and to return a blessing to you for all the blessings that we experience here, the blessings of the bounty of our land, the security of our country, the beauty of our state, but most importantly for the love and relationships like you see in this room and in this family and the relationships that they have garnered. So we ask that you bless Bev and her family as she goes forward without her partner, that you surround, enable, and strengthen her, be especially beside her. And we ask that we glorify you in all that we do and say. Thank you for the Ray Clarnos amongst us. Through your Son, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.